Hi BookTube, it's Eleanor here. Today it's time for me to do my October wrap-up. Now, if you watch my videos, you'll know that I do a roundup of what I've read each week. So I'm not going to talk about specific books in this. I'm just going to give you a lowdown on my ratings, how many books I read, how many comics, how many graphic novels, and then I'm just going to spotlight the 5-star books from this month. So this month I had a really good reading month. I read 20 books, 2 comics and 2 novellas. So all in all, I read a lot of books this month for me, and I'm really pleased. I would have been pleased if I'd read 2, if they were really good books. But I had a really good month, and I was lucky that there was quite a lot of good books there as well. To break it down, I had 1 2-star book, 8 3-star books, 12 4-star books, and 3 5-star books. So I'm really pleased. I had a really good cross-section. Obviously I would have rather some more 4 and 5-star books, but all in all, there wasn't very many low ones. The 3 5-star books from this month were Cressley Cole's Endless Night, which is the second in the Arcana Chronicles. I'm really enjoying this YA paranormal series. The concept is about teenagers or young adults that have tarot card powers, and it's a fight to the death. There can only be 1 remaining. I'm not going to tell you too much about Endless Night because it's the second in the series, but the overall concept of this trilogy, I believe it's going to be a trilogy, is it's about Evie. She has suffered from visions, and an apocalyptic event happens, and then she is thrown into this world where she finds out that she carries the powers of a tarot card, and she meets the other tarot cards, and there's fighting and romance and action. It's a lot darker than I expected it to be, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So that was my first 5-star book from this month. My second 5-star book from this month was The Bees by Lilline Poole. This came as a bit of a surprise because although obviously I wanted to read the book because I'd been interested by the back and the blurb, I wasn't sure if it was going to be the type of book for me. But actually, I really enjoyed it. It's about a bee called Flora, and it's about the hive and the different job roles that people have in the hive and the hive culture. It's a fictional story, but it's obvious that the author has done a lot of research into bees and how the hive works, and I found that that mixed in with this fictional story really appealed to me. I've heard some other people that didn't really enjoy the book and found bits of it repetitive, but I really enjoyed it. I really, enjoyed Flora's character. I thought she was interesting, and yeah, so that was a 5-star for me. My third 5-star book this month was the part 2 of A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. I'm reading this series 1 book a month as part of BookTube Reading Buddies on Goodreads, and this one was brilliant. The other 5-star book in the series was the first book, A Game of Thrones, and since then they've all only been 4-star books for me. But this one picked the story up. There was lots and lots of twists and turns and deaths, and it was full of action, and it really moved the story forward, so it was a definite 5 stars from me. Obviously, if any of you are interested in the other books and you don't want to go back over the other videos, I'm more than happy to talk to you in the comments below, and I can tell you some of the other books. But if you want to, you can always go back to my what I read this week and what I'm reading next week videos, and they'll show you the star ratings I gave for all the other books this month. Now moving on to November. November's going to be a really, really busy reading month for me, and I'm really excited. There's some really interesting projects and readathons and reading buddy reading things that I'm getting involved in, and I'm very excited. So without further ado, let's get into my November TBR. Firstly, it'll come as no surprise that one of the books that I shall be reading this month is A Feast for Crows by George R.R. Martin. This is the next book in the Song of Ice and Fire series. This is my next one for next month, and I'll be reading it with a number of people actually on the BookTube Reading Buddies on Goodreads. So I'm excited about this one. It's quite a meaty book, but given the cliffhanger or the interesting ending to the last part, I can't wait to get involved and back into this story. Next this month, again on BookTube Reading Buddies, and a buddy read, is one that we were meant to read last month, but my buddies and I, none of us really got round to it or really fancied it. So next month we're going to try, and there's a few more people joined us. So we're going to be reading The Queen of the Tearling. This book is about Kelsey, and she is a princess. I believe she's about to become queen. She's about to take over a kingdom that is on its knees. It's not got much going right for it, and that's really all I know. I'm not sure if it's a fantasy or a sci-fi or what. I do know that Emma Watson signed up to play Kelsey in the film, so I'll be interesting to see. And as always, I do love this book. The next book I'm going to read this month is one that I've been wanting to read for ages, and I've now got the opportunity, or not the opportunity, but the push that I needed to start it, and that is the group read book for BookTube Reading Buddies this month, which is the one big book that a lot of people tend to read, and that is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I don't know much at all about this book. Just that it is a classic and a lot of people rave about how good it is. I heard, I think it was Mercy at Mercy's Bookish Musings talking about this, and I'm hoping to find out for myself. I really liked Of Mice and Men when I was at school, and that was a long time ago now, so I'm looking forward to getting back into Steinbeck and reading this book. Next for this month is a Goodreads group that I have just joined, which was set up by Sarah of Books and Junk and Lindsay of Lindsay Ray, and it is called Reading Adventures. And the idea behind this group is that Sarah will pick a book each month, Lindsay will pick a book each month, and then between the two of them they'll pick a third book. And those 3 books will be read by those 2 every month, but obviously people can join in one book or all 3 books, or one month they might not decide to read any of the books. Lindsay and Sarah wanted to try and read books in different genres. I was really interested in this idea, so I've joined the group, and this month I'm going to be reading just one of the books that has been picked. I believe one of the books is Bridget Jones's Diary, and another pick is Rune and Rising, and the book that I'm choosing to read is Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. I know that there's a film out of this recently, and I'd like to watch that as well this month. I don't know much about this. I believe it's about a young boy, perhaps video game, sci-fi. I'm hoping it might be a little bit like Ready Player One, but I'm not sure. If you've read it, let me know your thoughts, or you know what you thought, and if it is a bit like Ready Player One. I really enjoyed that book, so fingers crossed I'm going to enjoy this one too. The next load of books I'm not going into much detail about. If you have seen my anti-bullying video, then you'll know about this. But if you haven't, then the anti-bullying readathon was set up by Sarah Churchill of Clumsiness is a Curse on BookTube, and it's running the 17th to the 23rd of November. It's a week readathon in aid or to bring awareness to Anti-Bullying Week. There's a Goodreads group set up called Anti-Bullying Readathon, and everybody on there is going to try and read one or more or as many books as they can or feel they can, which contain aspects of bullying within them. The books that I've chosen to read for this readathon are The Traitor Game by B.R. Collins, The Truth About Alice by Jennifer Mathieu, Shine by Lauren Miracle, Please Stop Laughing at Me, One Woman's Inspirational Journey by Jodie Blanco, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Saenz, Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, which I've got on my Kindle, and Hate List, which I currently have on reserve at the library. I'm really excited to read these stories and to get involved in this really worthy project, and I will be going into more detail during the week of the readathon. I'm going to try and make a few more videos, and I'll talk about each book as I read them, discuss the aspects within them to do with bullying, and hopefully encourage some more of you to read these books if they're good and worth it. The final book that I'm going to be reading this month, I don't actually know what it is yet. It is part of a group on Goodreads called Read Along With Me, and they have a part of their group where you can sign up to what is called Copycat, and I've signed up for the Copycat November. They will match you with somebody else in that group and send you their link so that you can see their books, and you need to read a book from, I'm not sure if it's their red or one of their shelves, So I'll be interested to see who I get paired with and what sort of book I can pick from there. And I'm excited that it's something a bit new and a bit different, so I will let you know when I know which book that's going to be. And I almost forgot, there is one other thing that I'm participating in this month, and I have joined a Percy Jackson group on Goodreads. And as I am ashamed to say, I have never read any of the Percy Jackson books, not one single book. I've seen the first film, but I haven't read any of the books. So I've decided I'm going to remedy that, and I'm going to work my way through the books. And that's exactly what everybody else is doing in this group. They've set it up starting November. We'll be reading the first book in the Percy Jackson series, and then every month we'll be reading one of the books from then on. So I'm excited to take part in that. I'm really enjoying the way I'm doing that with the Game of Thrones, the Song of Ice and Fire series. So I'm hoping that this will be a really good way to get me through and to get talking about the book. And I'm really excited to finally get to these. So that's all the books I definitely want to read this month, which is probably going to be all the books that I can manage to read this month. But if I do manage to read anything else, I'll be letting you know in my weekly wrap-ups and TBRs for each week. So I think I've got plenty to be getting on with, and I'd be interested to see what you're reading this month. Are you reading any of these books? Are you taking part in any of these groups? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, it'd be great to speak to you. Okay, bye for now, BookTube.